Mobile journalism as lifestyle journalism. This is our topic for reading. The main point: introduction and field theory, mobile journalism, lifestyle journalism, journalistic role conception, method, journalistic role conception in mobile journalism, mobile journalism in the newsroom, and conclusion. Introduction. Mobile journalism is one of the fastest areas of growth in the modern journalism industry. Yet mobile journalists find themselves in a place of tension between print, podcast, and digital journalism, and between traditional journalism and lifestyle journalism. Field theory. Using the lens of field theory, the present study conducted an online survey of mobile journalists, the number of them 39 from 6 countries, representing for continue on how they conceive of their journalistic role and how their work is perceived within the newsroom, print, magazine, and digital local and national newsroom. The present study sought to understand how mobile journalists see mobile production as a part of their journalistic role, and what field theory dimension influence mobile production in their newsroom. Mobile journalism. Field production conducted entirely using mobile devices that can be shipped for use in variety of platforms. To adapt to this trend in mobile consumption, videos are created with captions on the screen so consumers can watch the video and understand it without having to listen to it. Content created strictly for mobile consumptions, which may or may not be created strictly on mobile devices. For example, the majority of people who consume video content on mobile devices do so with the volume turned off. Mobile field production tends to pride itself on being more ad hoc and timely than other forms of journalism, which provides a means of developing culture capital. This addresses an economic capital need in the broader journalistic field to operate cheaper and faster. Lifestyle journalism. In the lifestyle journalism, journalistic doxa and journalistic habits are created vis-a-vis relationship with the audience. Furthermore, this relationship helps build social capital. Lifestyle journalists prefer a direct connection to their audience by talking on the recipient's perspective and by giving clear value judgments. Journalists view audience not just as citizens and consumers, but also as clients who participate in the news creation process in lifestyle journalism. Journalists understand their intimacy with an audience sometimes as useful even on more serious journalistic work. Journalistic role conceptions. Journalists typically find their professional identities in their doxa and particular in their roles, and those roles are typically discussed in terms of contributions to democracy. Hence, lifestyle journalists would be likely to struggle in articulating their roles. Roles functions as a type of social stability. Yet journalists tend to turn to normative roles of dissemination, interpretation, adversarial, and populist mobilizer as a form of legitimacy. All of these rules taken together, regardless of degree of democracy's contributions, provide journalists with a framework for doing their jobs. Method. In order to address the research questions, an online survey through Qualtrics software was distributed to mobile journalists via several different mobile journalism social network hubs. The research shared the survey by posting a link to it in the Mojo Live Facebook group and in the MojoCon Facebook group, Groups in which mobile journalists share types and information about mobile protection tools with one another. They also tweeted a link to the survey using and the MojoCon Twitter hashtag. The 27-question survey used open-ended and closed-ended questions to probe the journalists' experience with mobile journalism and their journalistic rules. Journalistic role conception in mobile journalism. In discussing their role, mobile journalists described their role as being as a liability in the newsroom and yet as a way to keep up with audience interest. Journalists were motivated to do mobile because mobile includes a combination of better storyline, ability to share information easily across platforms, working remotely. News can be presented in a more timely nature. Mobile journalism in the newsroom. Mobile journalism in the newsroom, when examining the factors that influence the use of mobile journalism, three themes emerged: personal, environmental, and audience motivations. Several participants mentioned mobile journalism is the way of the future. Many participants inducted doing mobile journalism was a sort of survival technique during uncertain time in journalism. Conclusion. Participants emphasized the role of society surveillance and story recording. The topics that mobile journalists tend to cover are those topics standard in traditional journalism: breaking news and community news. Mobile journalists saw the integration of mobile technology as a resulting from mixture of personal, environmental, and audience factors. The most prominent personal factor participants cited was it serves as a form of job security. Outcome. Mobile journalism have enabled journalists to report in novel ways or update blogs from remote locations. New media and mobile journalism revolutionized the institution's coverage. Mobile journalism is a positive outcropping of new media in that it gives real-time access to digital news, subscribes, and results in greater transparency and safeguard against corruptions and abuses of power. Mobile journalism can help you or your organization save costs, not only at the moment of buying new equipment, but also when training personnel or maintaining your gear. Finally, thank you for listening.